Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today. So this is a bit of an improvised class, as most of you know that it was supposed to be outside, but because of the bad weather, we're doing it inside. But that's perfectly fine. We can adapt to the bad weather. We'll just make it shine inside instead of outside. Yeah, thanks for joining. You won't need anything but your mat if you're a beginner. You can take a little cushion, and if you have some blocks, you can also use that. Otherwise, you won't need anything else. So go ahead and sit down. If you have a hard time sitting down cross-legged, you can always use a little cushion to prop under your lower back, under your bum, so it feels less tight. So we're just going to start off sitting down. So go ahead and bring your hands down on your knees. Close your eyes. And we're going to start straightening our back. Really sitting nice and tall up through the top of your head. And just breathe normally for now. And I just want you to just see how you're feeling and what you're bringing on the mat today. What's your general state of mind? If you have any emotions coming with you on the mat today. And without judging that, just imagine if you were listening to a friend that's confessing some emotions, just general feelings, and you're just listening to that to yourself, like if it was someone else from the outside, without judging, and just bringing your awareness to those feelings. It's very important to know where you are before you start the class, so you know what kind of energy you're bringing on the mat. And from here, you can set your intention for the class. If you're more excited, if you have a lot of fire, if you need to calm yourself down, or if you actually need to let that fire out, if you need to center yourself, if you just need to be more compassionate with yourself, what is it that you need to bring yourself today? Whatever that is, I want you to try to bring that to yourself throughout the class. So you center yourself through that intention, so you know where you're trying to head to through the class. Just take this instant to come back to presence, to yourself. Once you have that intention, we're going to start taking some nice and deep breaths. So I want you to bring your hands onto your stomach. We're going to breathe nice and deep through the nose, in and out. We're going to take 3 seconds inhale and 5 seconds exhale. So make it nice and long on the exhale. So go ahead and breathe in and fill your stomach with fresh air. 1, 2, 3 as you inhale and exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale again. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't need to be 100%. Just really release your belly. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slow yourself down through the breath. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel that breath coming in and out, rooting all the way down through your sitting bones to the ground. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a couple more times. 1, 2, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one last time. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And release your hands back down on your knees. And with the next inhale, open your eyes again. Wonderful. And you're going to bring now your hands behind your back onto the fingertips. So place your hands just right behind your back. And with an inhale, you're going to open up your chest. Bring your shoulders down. Open that heart. Look up. Still having your sitting bones rooted into the ground. Breathe nice and deep here several times with your chest open. Feel that nice and fresh air coming in through the lungs. And release your hands from behind you. And we're going to inhale, reach up with your right arm, bring your left hand down to the ground. Open up that right side, look up towards the ceiling, and slowly come down to the ground. Both hands are to the ground and reaching forward. And you're going to draw a type of half circle with your hands going forward. Look down to the ground and walk your hands over to the other side. And your right hand stays on the ground. This time your left hand comes up. Your arm is straight, reaching over to the wall on your right side. Look up. Keep your sitting bones rooted down. Don't lift up to one side. And come back down to the ground. And do that same half circle the opposite way. Nice stretch in the back here. And open up your side body. Look up. And back down. So we're going to draw this half circle here just a few times. So you don't have to be as far as I am with the elbow down to the ground. If you're up here, that's perfectly fine. As long as you're rooting your sitting bones down into the ground. Open up. Inhale, look up. Exhale, change sides. So go as slow as you need to. Find your own pace, whatever feels good for you. And a couple more times here, wherever you are. Inhale, open up, reach with that arm. And come over to the other side. One last time. And reach up. Come down to the center. And bring your hands on your shoulders and bring yourself back up. And we're going to come onto hands and knees. And going to start with a few cat-cows as usual. It's just a wonderful way to wake up that spine. So open your hands nice and wide and bring your hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips. And with an inhale, you're going to bring your chest forward. Open that heart, look up, belly comes down, tilt the pelvis out. And exhale, push into your hands, bring the shoulder blades away from the spine, round that back and bring the chest in. And inhale, open the chest again. Exhale, round the back into the cat tilt and back into cow tilt. So we're going to do this a few times, and I want you to take the freedom of making circles as you do the cat-cow movements here. So you can circle with your head, and your hips come from one side to the other. Just find that freedom to see what feels good for you. Always going with the breath. So always don't be scared of, being playful with your body as long as it feels good and you're not taking it too far. You're the best person to know what feels good for your body and how far to go. Go ahead and take a few more of those movements and circles here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. If you haven't reversed the circle, go ahead and do that. Really push into the shoulder blades as you round your back. And as you come back to center, come back to neutral tabletop. And we're going to take the right foot outside of the right hand and tuck the back toes in and bring the back knee off the ground. And just go a little bit back and forth here, stretching out the legs, opening up the hips here. Look down to the ground and press into your hands so you're not sinking into your shoulder blades. Gently waking up that body at the end of the day. Waking up from all the sitting down at work. Wonderful. And you're going to push back into a plank here. So push into your hands and bring that leg back. And this time bring the left foot outside of your left hand. And same thing here. Just do some nice little circles. Feel that nice opening in the groin area. If this is too much, you can always keep that knee on the ground and take it a little bit slower. There's no shame in taking it slower. Wonderful. And from here, you're going to push back into downward facing dog. So bring that foot back and send your hips up to the sky. And sink into downward facing dog. So really press into your hands. Send your sitting bones up towards the sky. So you can keep your legs bent if that feels better for you. And you can walk the dog. So pedal the legs, so one side to the other. If it's the first downward facing dog you're doing of the day, and you're just starting to stretch out those hamstrings. Sink into the movement. Release your head. Really don't put any tension into your neck. And when you're ready, come to the center. And try to reach those heels down towards the ground as long as you're keeping a nice and neutral spine so you're not rounding your back too much. Wonderful. Take a big inhale here and exhale through the mouth. Release. Wonderful. And with the next inhale, you're gonna bring your right foot in between your hands. So push into your shoulder blades, make space for that leg, and come up into a high lunge. So bring your arms up towards the sky. Bend that front knee, nice 90-degree angle so you can see that front toe. Have your hips facing the front of the mat. If your back leg is not entirely straight, you can have a light bend in it. And we're gonna try and work on those legs a little bit here. So we're gonna inhale, bend the back leg and bring it down as close as possible to the ground, and exhale, push back up. So your glute here is engaged as you do this. Inhale down, exhale back up. So this also allows you to come into the posture, really settle into it more. Inhale down, exhale back up. Inhale down, exhale back up. Couple more times. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. And we're going to push into chair pose. So bring both feet to the front and up to standing. Release your hands down. Wonderful. Inhale and exhale here. Bring your hands in prayer. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. Look up. Exhale, fold forward. Uttanasana. So keep your legs slightly bent for this first forward fold. And you're going to bring your right foot to the back of the mat and come to a high lunge on the other side. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling. Same thing here. Settle yourself into the posture. Push into your front and back foot. So really kind of ground your feet as much as possible. Taking in that energy from the ground. Same thing here. We're going to bend in and out through the legs. So inhale, bring that leg down. Exhale, push back up. Engage with the glute. Inhale, down. Exhale, back up. Inhale. Exhale. Make sure you're still bending into that front leg as you come in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So that front leg is burning away. Really try to send that exhale into that area. One last time. Inhale. Exhale. And come into chair. And extend, straighten the legs. Wonderful. Come to standing. And you're going to interlace your hands behind your back. Your legs are together, feet and legs are together. Inhale, open that chest. Tilt your pelvis slightly in so you don't put all the weight in the lower back. Look up. Exhale, bend your legs slightly and fold forward. Bring your hands up and overhead. Release your shoulders. Release your neck entirely. So really let that head hang. And try to have the weight slightly more onto your toes so you're not falling back. Release your shoulders. So we're really making space in the vertebra here as much as possible. You can even shake your head from side to side, yes and no. If it's uncomfortable for your shoulders, you can bring your hands down to the ground. That's also fine. And just shake it a little bit from side to side. Find that nice release in your neck. So really letting the whole weight of that head fall down. And if you still have those hands interlaced behind your back, you're going to slowly come up like if someone was pulling from the hands, pulling you back up. Slowly, slowly come up. And the head comes last. And you come up to standing, release those hands. Wonderful. Now we're going to come into eagle pose. So I'm not entirely in the camera here. So we're going to start by crossing our arms. So you're going to cross the right arm over the left, and then try to cross your hands and bring your hands in prayer. You're going to sit down like if you're coming into a chair pose and bring your right leg over the left. And if you can, you're going to hook your foot behind the left leg. If you can't hook it, you can just leave it pointing down towards the ground, but just make sure you're really sitting down into the posture. And try to center your knees and your elbows. So bring those knees a little bit more to the right side. And find that point of focus. Find balance on your foot. So this is very good to calm the nervous system down, this posture. Find focus. Wonderful. And release the bind. Come back to standing. If you need to, you can shake your feet out a little bit. So you just feel a nice rush of blood when you release that, because we were really blocking the flow but blow to a certain place of blood, and then it just rushes back out. It's a really nice sensation, so it helps with blood circulation also. So we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So this time the left comes over the right, and try to bring your hands in prayer here. Sit down into a chair and bring the left leg over the right and settle yourself into it. So just sit down, root down into the heel, and try not to round your back. So don't like fold forward like this. Stand tall, or try to open your chest, even if you're binding in front of the chest. Try to have that nice and straight spine as much as possible. Find your point of focus. And don't forget to breathe nice and deep. Wonderful. Inhale deeply here. Exhale. Inhale, release the bind. Come to standing again. Wonderful. So feel again that nice rush of blood coming back down. And we're going to find balance on our left foot and bring the right leg up, bend the leg, interlace your fingers or hands behind the leg and hug that leg in towards your chest. So you're engaging here through the right leg, through the abdominals, to the left leg, sorry. And you're going to bring your left hand onto your left hip and take your big toe from inside of your leg with your right hand. And we're going to try to extend that leg, straighten the leg in front of you. With an exhale, you're pushing your foot into your hand. Try to straighten the leg, but if you're not able to straighten it entirely, that's okay. You can stay with the leg bent. Just make sure you're engaging through the glute and the abdominals here. Open your chest as much as possible. and relax those shoulders. So we're not bringing your shoulders up towards your ear. And slowly we're going to open up that leg to the side, to the right side. So for balance, you can bring that left arm out to your side. Engage your abdominals, your legs. Whoop. And if you fall out, that's perfectly fine. Inhale, come back to center. And release that leg down. Great. So you should really be feeling it on the left leg. And we're going to come to the other side. So find balance on your right leg. And bring the left leg up. Hug it into your chest. Find your point of focus in front of you. Usually it's lower than the eyesight. Same thing here. So the other hand comes on the right side, right hand on the right side. And from the inside, you're going to take your big pinky toe into your fingers and exhale, push that foot into your hand and try to extend, try to straighten the leg. But as I said, you can have it slightly bent. That's perfectly fine. Just really engage in the glute, in the lower belly. Bring those shoulders nice and down. And slowly open that leg to the side. So don't be too quick, otherwise you'll lose your balance. And you can open up your right hand to the right side. Breathe nice and deep. And come back to center slowly. Release the foot. And let it come back down to the ground. Wonderful. And we're going to come into mountain pose. So just open your hands to the sides. Open those fingers. And just see how you're standing here. So I want you to stand just for a second. Try to imagine that there's a line coming from the top of your head all the way down to your heels. And through that line, your ears and your shoulders, hips and heels are aligned. So you're really taking in the energy from the ground and sending it up towards the sky. Like a tree, really, that's rooted down through the ground. And breathe nice and deep. You can take a big inhale here. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale again. Exhale through the mouth. And one last time. Inhale. And open up your eyes again. And just check with yourself if everything is fine. If you're not giving yourself something that you don't need today, remember that intention at the beginning of the class. So from here, we're going to step our left foot back. Imagine there's train tracks here and your feet are parallel. And bring your hands onto your hips. Open that chest and exhale, fold forward. So we're trying to open the chest more than rounding. Trying to bring your belly to your leg more than the forehead to your knee. And you can bring your hands down to the ground. You can stay on the fingertips if it's too low. And try to imagine that you're bringing your right hip back and your left front. So you're trying to square the hips as much as possible. You feel that really nice stretch in your hamstring. And once you're down there, release your head. Wherever you feel the tension, concentrate on sending the exhale to that area and imagine it's just freeing the tension. You can give a color to your breath if that helps. Whatever color is appeasing to you, and you imagine that that color is traveling through your body and arriving to that area and liberating that tension. And bring your hands back on your hips and come back, reverse nice and slow. And step to the front of the mat. And bring the other foot back. Same thing here. Both feet are facing toward the front of the mat. Bring your hands on your hips. Inhale, open that chest, look up, and exhale, fold forward onto that left leg. The front leg doesn't need to be entirely straight. If you have really tight hamstrings, you can have a slight bend in that leg. That's perfectly fine. And wherever you are, when you've reached your maximum without going too much over that comfort zone, you release that head. Release your neck down. This is a really nice, wonderful stretch, liberating feeling for the whole back body. Remember to try to square your hips as much as possible. One last inhale, exhale. Wonderful. And you're going to come and bend your front leg, slightly bring the back leg down, back a little bit further, so you come into a lunge. And we're going to come into a twist. So you're going to bring that right hand to the inside of your left leg and twist over, look over to your left side. Bring your left hand up towards the sky and try to twist from inside out. You can try also bringing your hand onto your belly and really bringing it into the twist. So you're not just twisting with your shoulders here. Look up to the sky, press into that hand, press into the back toes. You're freeing that lower spine. Wonderful. Exhale, bring that hand back down to the ground and we're going to push back into downward facing dog. Bring both feet to the back of the mat and hips up towards the sky. Take a couple deep breaths here. And with the next inhale, you're going to bring the right foot to the front of the mat like we did at the very beginning. And bring that left hand a little bit closer to your right foot, and we're going to come to the twist on the other side. So bring that right arm up towards the sky. You don't need to open up too much. Have that hand over your shoulder. Bring your belly into the twist. Imagine like if you were a human starfish. I find that's a good image because it really, like a starfish is really able to twist in all directions. So imagine that that's what you're doing. You're just a human starfish. It's a good mental image. So you really, all your body parts are integrated in the twist. Once again, I forgot to mention, I should have said this before, you can have your knee on the ground if it's too much. Wonderful. And bring that hand down, back down on the ground, and then both hands come in the middle on the inside of the foot, and you're going to step your other foot to the outside of your hands, and we're going to settle down into a low squat. So really settle your hips down into the middle of your feet. So you're going to come facing this way. And if you're not able to have those hips down too much, you can always hold yourself, like settle yourself a little bit more on your hands, and gradually your hips are going to come down. If you're not there yet, be patient with yourself. Don't fixate on a certain result. Bring your hands in prayer, and you can open up those legs a little bit more with your arms, so your elbows are gently pushing open your legs, and then engage your glutes so you can really open up those hips. Sit nice and tall through the spine. Breathe here. Now we're going to try a little twist here. If you're more of a beginner, you don't have to go there. But if you want to give it a try, of course, go ahead. So we're going to open up our arms, send the right arm back behind us and the left down towards the ground, pressing against your left leg. And you're going to look up towards your right hand without straining your neck. Try not to let your knees fall in towards the ground. So still engaging so that those legs are nice and open. So it should be a nice and liberating feeling in the lower spine. Inhale, come back to center and open up towards your left side this time. Look back behind you, engage your glutes. And check with your face also. Are you tensing your face? Is your jaw clenching? So really release your jaw also. And come back to center and sit down. And we're going to come lying on our stomach. Bring your hands back to your sides and your head down to the ground just for a second. Breathe nice and deep. And we're going to come into a reverse boat pose. So a bit of a heart opening and back strengthening posture. So we're going to extend your arms out in front of you and bring your forehead to the ground. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring your hands, arms, and legs off the ground at the same time. Engage your glutes so you can bring those legs off the ground. And look down to the ground so you're not straining your neck. Reach, reach, reach. Breathe, hold here. And release down to the ground. And we're going to do it a second time. Breathe. Bring your forehead down to the ground again. Inhale, exhale, reach forward, engage your glutes. So your belly, your abdomen is also engaged here to keep you up. Your legs are working. Inhale, exhale down to the ground and release. Bring your arms down to your sides. your cheek to the ground. Wonderful. Then you're going to extend your right arm to the ground. So you can't really see me from this angle, but extend your arm out on the ground with the palm facing down in line with your shoulder. And you're gonna roll over onto your right side. Bring your left leg up, and the foot is gonna come flat on the ground behind your right leg. So this should be a really nice opening in the shoulder, a nice stretch for your arm and shoulder. And the other hand can stay down on the ground here, or you can bring it back behind your back. Or even if you're there, if you have that flexibility without going further than your ability, you can interlace your fingers behind your back and extend your arms back. But this is not an obligation, just different variations that you can do. Because all our bodies are different, so it'll feel differently for everyone. Great, and roll back slowly onto your stomach, and we're going to come to the other side. So extend your left arm down to the ground with the palm facing down in line with your shoulder, and roll over onto your left side. Bring your right leg up, and the foot is flat on the floor behind your left leg. Same thing here, you can bring your hand back if that feels good for you. Breathe into that shoulder. And come back to center, roll over onto your stomach again, and push yourself back up onto hands and knees. And now that we've got those shoulders nice and open, I want us to try a little bit more of a heart opening posture and also a little bit of a balance posture. So we'll give it a try here. So you're going to bend your left leg, bring it up, and reach towards your foot with the right hand. So try to find your balance here. Open up those fingers, so your fingers are going to help for the balance. Inhale, exhale, and push your foot into your hand so that you're opening your chest, and it's pulling your arm back, opening up. Look down to the ground, find that point of focus, press into the ground so it really helps to open the chest, and release down. So this is a bit more of a challenging posture. So just give it a try. Same thing on the other side. So reach to that right foot with your left hand, getting confused with my hands and feet here. Press into that hand into the ground. So your whole palm is into the ground, not just the outside. Really integrate the whole palm. Inhale, exhale, push your foot into your hand So it's bringing that foot up towards the sky and open your chest. Your back foot is pressing into the ground also to help you with the balance. You don't have to be super far. Like if you're just starting off, it might be down here, that's fine. And release down. And coming to a child's pose. Bring your forehead down to the ground, extend your arms out in front of you. And try to let those hips fall down onto your heels. You can do a little bit of a rocking of side to side in child's pose. And inhale, come back up. We're not over yet. All right, we're gonna come into hero's pose. So for this pose, if you're starting out or if you have any knee injuries, I want you to sit back onto your heels like this. So this will be perfectly fine. No need to go any further. Otherwise, you can go ahead and take the bind. So you're gonna bring your right leg crossed under you so that your heel is touching the outside of the left hip. So you're not sitting on your heel, it's just on the outside. So both sitting bones are on the ground, and you're gonna bend the other leg over and try to bring that right leg back behind you as far as you can without straining your knee. So you're trying to center your knees. Perfect. So settle yourself down here. You're going to inhale, reach up with your left arm and bring your hand trying to touch your back. So your palm is facing towards your back. And then the other arm is going to bind behind your back. This time your palm is facing the other way. And if you're able to, try to touch your fingers together and grab the fingers together. But if you're not, if that's too far, if it's pulling too much on your shoulders, you can just grab onto your shirt. Usually some people use a strap. Also, I don't have that to show you here, but you can try to go wherever you can reach without straining your shoulders. If you have shoulder injuries, this might be a bit too far for you. Wherever you are, just try to sit nice and tall as much as possible, and you should feel a nice stretch in the back of your arms. You can close your eyes here and breathe nice and deep. This is something that's also very liberating for the back. You can do this sitting anywhere from wherever you want. Without the bind in the legs, you can do this. Wonderful. Inhale, release the bind. Open up your arms. If you are in this posture, we're going to change the legs around. So you're going to first bend the left leg and then the right on top. Same thing here, checking that both sitting bones are on the ground, so your heel, your right heel is just touching the outside. Sorry, your left heel is touching the outside of your right hip. So try to bring the other heel, the right heel back. Settle yourself down. If you feel it is too tight on your knees, please don't force yourself. Just sit back on your heels. Wonderful. And from here, inhale with your right hand, arm up and behind. And then the other arm comes down. Bend it behind your back. And same thing here. If you can, interlace your fingers behind your back. If your fingers are just touching, that's perfectly fine. Or if you're just grabbing onto your shirt also. Wherever you are, try to center the top of your body. So your chest, shoulders, and ribs over your hips. So we're not rocking to one side. Sit nice and tall and breathe deeply. Close your eyes. You should feel a nice opening in your hips also. If you feel some kind of a tingling, that you might want to take it back just a tad. It might mean that you're going a little bit too far. Inhale one last time. Exhale nice and deep. And on the inhale, unwind, uncross the legs, and come lying on your back. Bring your legs into your chest and roll a little bit side to side. Feel your spine in the ground, the vertebra. You can take your knees into your hands and just make circles here. If you have tight lower back or if your hips tend to be locked, this is a really nice release for that area. Wonderful. And from here, we're going to just take a nice little twist to finish off. So you can hug your knees in towards your chest. Open up your arms to the sides and let your knees, your legs fall over to your left side and look over to your right side. And inhale your legs back to center. Make sure those legs, those knees are still nice and close to your chest, and let them fall over to your right side. And look over to the right side. Close your eyes. Just feel that nice release in the back. Surrender to the posture. Try to focus also on just releasing anything that doesn't need to be tight. You don't need to be engaging any muscles here. You're just surrendering to the effects of gravity and the twist. So completely release your face. And slowly we're going to come back to center and come into Shavasana. So extend your legs out on the ground. Open those legs. Let your toes, feet open to the sides. The palms are facing up. Roll your head side to side just a few times. Make sure you're really releasing your neck. And come back to center. Close your eyes. And I want us to take 3 deep inhale, exhale through the nose as you inhale and exhale through the mouth. Inhale deeply. And really sigh it out. Inhale again. And last time, inhale. And we come to stillness. So just breathe normally now. And take the time to just thank yourself for having this time. Because we always think we don't have the time. We don't have the time to relax. We have other things to do. You do have the time. You just need to give it to yourself. How do you feel now compared to the beginning of the class? Did you manage to honor that intention that you gave, that you put at the beginning of the class? If you felt excited, with a lot of fire, do you feel more centered now? Do you feel more relaxed? Or if you needed to be more awake, to feel more awake, whatever it is that you needed, did you give yourself that? And as we're lying still here, just scan over your body one last time, visualizing all the different parts of your body from your toes up to the top of your head, and sending a message of relaxation to those areas, making sure you're not keeping any tension in all of those body parts. And don't forget your face also. Really release the cheeks, the jaw, the lips. If it feels good for you, you can even open your mouth slightly, all the way to the eyelids. The eyeballs are just very heavy eyelids on your eyes. And you're giving yourself this instant to just do nothing, just be with yourself and nothing else. So you can stay in Shavasana as long as it feels good for you. Feel free to lie there. Otherwise, we're going to slowly come back to your body. Start wiggling your fingers and toes. Take a big inhale and stretch out. However it feels good for your body, whatever movement you love to do to stretch out and roll over to one side. Keep your eyes closed. And whenever you're ready, you can join me sitting again. When you're here, we're going to finish off with 3 ohms. So bring your hands in prayer at heart center. Take a big inhale. Inhale again. And last time. Namaste. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope you enjoyed the class. It's not as nice as being able to see you in the park outside, but it's better than nothing. And the lighting is more or less, it's already very dark outside here. If you feel like doing a donation for the class and for the other classes that I offer, there's a link in the description of the video. So feel free to do that if you want to. Otherwise, you can always support me by liking the video, leaving any comments, and subscribing to the channel. That's already great for me. And I hope you feel nice and relaxed and you have a wonderful rest of the day.